This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
It is the After Party live. Oh, my hair's all disheveled. Oh, look, a mess. It's Friday. You know what? We're just moving forward. Who cares what I look like? We're going forward with the show. It's an interesting Friday show on the After Party Live. We don't have Tim Sika today. He's at the very fancy Critics' Choice Award in Southern California. And it has been rescheduled twice because of the wildfires. So finally they are holding this event, and he is in Hollywood hobnobbing with stars and celebrities. He did, though, leave behind a classic movie recommendation, which I'll share with you a little bit later in the show. Going to the chat, looking at what you are saying, I'm remarkably responsible. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take the compliment, even if I don't feel it in my soul. I'm gonna believe it because you said it. That's nice. Always twirling into the future. That's right. Oh, thanks, Judy. I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate the support from you. Very nice. Yeah, tweak, what a week. And that is really the way of it. We can agree on that, Mo. That's true. Hello to you, Nolafidian. Hello to you, Ricky. Nice to see you. Because we don't have Tim Sika today, I thought maybe we could do some movie quote trivia. So I do have some of that to share with you. We'll see if you can pick out the movie quotes. Yeah. Okay, let's jump into some of the stories that we have. First one is about potholes, and I live in Petaluma. There's joke up here in the North Bay is it's kind of the pothole capital of the world. There's even an ice cream made by a local company called the Petaluma Pothole Ice Cream. Yeah, and I have the best roads in Petaluma. Petaluma's the pothole capital of the Bay Area. Used to be. It's a little better now, but still a lot of potholes all over the place here. There is a new development in roadway technology that could help places like Petaluma avoid potholes. Self-healing roads could help fix the pothole problem. So I don't know what a pothole forms and the road kind of does some weird, creepy sci-fi Arnold Schwarzenegger put it all back together where the, robot reattaches its arm. It's a complex process, apparently, according to Swansea University. But the aim is to stimulate materials to close cracks by themselves. The research is underway in the UK at Swansea University and King's College London. They've been working with scientists in Chile trying to develop this self-healing asphalt that can mend its own cracks. They found a way to reverse cracking, which could create more sustainable roads in the future. They say it's a very complex process, but the basic idea is that you have to stimulate the materials to close the crack autonomously without human intervention. Okay. They've incorporated tiny materials filled with recycled oils known as spores in the asphalt that are released when the material begins to crack. They're using Google Cloud, which is a type of AI machine learning tool. So far, the experiments in the lab have shown a micro crack on the asphalt's material surface was completely healed in under an hour. But it's a micro crack. It's not a pothole, right? Potentially, they say it's necessary to increase the budget when you prepare the first new material on the roads, but you can recover your investment when you extend the surface life for the future. I don't know. I mean, roadway damage causes damage to cars. They're even if you're not looking at the cost to the public coffers, the cost to all of our coffers is also affected by damaged roadways, which can also risk lives, cause accidents, what have you. So I think it's kind of cool if they could have self-repairing roadways. Seems kind of pie in the sky to me, but hey, if the science is there, Let's do it. Let's look at this picture. I'm sorry. At least it's not a spider. I'll say that. Ugh. This is a story about more than 100 venomous snakes. They were removed from a Sydney area home, the garden. Apparently, they grouped together for safety because they didn't have enough of a habitat area to give birth. So during the breeding season, they all grouped together like this. The experts were called in, the snake handlers, after the residents saw six snakes moving around in a pile of mulch. They're red belly blacks, and they pile on top of each other before they give birth. So the snake catcher's called out. He didn't realize how much work he had ahead of him. His name's Dylan, and Dylan came out that afternoon. He bagged up 5 adults and 97 baby red bellyback snakes, which, by the way, are incredibly venomous. The reptile relocation of Sydney, Australia, said 2 of the adults gave birth to 29 snakes in the bag while the cleanup was still taking place. It's the highest number the owner of the company has heard of. They had a similar job where they took in 30 non-venomous carpet pythons, but this is 102 red bellyback snakes. Ew. They say you can get a decent number like that when the babies are hatching, but to have this many venomous snakes, he said no one's come across this. We've never seen anything like it. The species normally has a litter of between 4 and 35 young at a time, and they think they were grouped together for safety. It's an isolated incident, a very rare occurrence. The snakes are now starting their new life in an undisclosed national park where authorities were granted permission for them to be released. 102 venomous red bellyback snakes. No thanks. I don't think I'll be working in the garden today. No, thank you. Yikes. Is it crazy story? I love a long lost silent film pulled from the past. It was found after about 100 years. This is a 1915 silent film about Abraham Lincoln, and it was thought to have been lost forever, but it turned up recently in a warehouse on Long Island in New York. There's an intern, a summer intern, working at Historic Films Archive in Greenport, and he was sorting through boxes of donations at the warehouse last summer when he found the only known surviving copy of this movie called The Heart of Lincoln. It's a silent film about the life of President Abraham Lincoln. He said, listen, for someone going to school for film preservation, this is about the most rewarding outcome you can have, sifting through those old film cans. The Library of Congress listed The Heart of Lincoln as among 7,000 silent films that were believed to have been lost to time. It was directed by Francis Ford, who also starred in the movie. His younger brother, John Ford, went on to win 4 Academy Awards for Best Director, including the 1939 film Young Mr. Lincoln, which starred Henry Fonda as Abraham Lincoln. So they say this discovery came as a shock. With silent films, according to the owner of the Historic Films Archive, 70% of them are just gone. It's a piece of the puzzle that's been found, the puzzle of lost American cinema. So they took The Heart of Lincoln, the can. We have to be really careful with that, but they cleaned it and it was digitized by a film archivist. And they say it was just their good luck that the cans were sealed and hadn't been decayed. So the next move is to have a score added to this restored film so it can be screened to new audiences. And no word yet on where we may be able to see The Heart of Lincoln. Should we do the lotto of the day? Okay, let's do it. Let's save the best for last. This lottery story is about the last lottery ticket in the roll. This man in Maryland was buying a scratch-off lottery ticket, the very last ticket on the roll. He said he always buys multiple scratch off tickets at a time because he thinks that somehow increases his odds of winning. But there was only one left, very last one. So he bought it. He said he followed the strategy when he visited a 7-Eleven in Brooklyn Park, saw there were only three $50,000 cash scratch off tickets left on the store's roll. He said, I saw the roll had only a few tickets left, so I bought all three. I scanned the first two. They were not winners, but that third ticket sure was. He said he thought he was dealing with a scanner malfunction when it told him go to the lottery instead of giving him a prize amount. A second attempt at a scan has had him suspecting, yeah, you might have a big win on your hands. He said, I was so amped up, but I still wasn't sure. So I went back inside and I had the cashier check it. And the clerk confirmed that's a $50,000 winning ticket. So he went home and then he asked his wife to check whether it was a winning ticket. She's like, no, it's not. And she threw it to the side. He said, look again. It's a winner. So she's going to use this prize money to make some home improvements. $50,000, that's pretty good. Maybe there's something to buying more than one consecutively. Who knows? This is a story I've been meaning to try to get to you for a while. I know, it's kind of a picture that just looks like hole in wood, right? But if you look closely, you can see a bunch of writing words. For a while, they didn't know what language those words were in. And then someone saw it and thought, uh-uh, that's not a that's not one of these ancient unreadable languages. That's Greek. This is a nearly 2,000-year-old true crime papyrus. This is a court case document, an old court case document in ancient Palestine, and it involved tax fraud. And researchers say it really gives some insight into trial preparations in the Roman Empire. This ancient papyrus was found in 2014, and they thought that it was in Nabatean, which is one of the ancient Aramaic languages. But there's a papyrus expert who saw it and said, that looks like Greek to me. Yeah. And so they spent the next decade deciphering 133 lines of this text, and they published it recently in the journal Tyche, Tyche, Tyche. The document is the longest Greek papyrus ever found in the Judean desert. Its newly translated content, they say, is pretty unique. It's a Roman lawyer's detailed notes about the trial of two men accused of tax fraud. Historians at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem say this is the best documented Roman court case from Judea, apart from the trial of Jesus. So, per the study, this papyrus was likely written on the eve of the Bar Kokhba revolt, which was a 2nd century Jewish uprising against Roman rule. The Roman Empire had colonized Judea. At that time, it was the southern part of ancient Palestine, about 200 years earlier. By 132 CE, various Roman incursions upon Jewish life, including bans on religious practices, had really taken their toll with the people that lived there. There was a population of Jews in Palestine that had been slowly decreasing. Finally, it got to the point where they revolted. The rebellion was led by this man named Bar Kokhba. It was crushed by the Romans in 135 CE, and then Jews were banned from Jerusalem. So this papyrus was written after Roman Emperor Hadrian's visit to Judea and before that revolt. And it details Rome's case against these two people, Gedalius and Saulos, and they were accused of forging documentation about selling and freeing slaves to bypass paying Roman taxes. Forgery and tax fraud they had pretty severe penalties way back when under Roman law. You could be sentenced to hard labor, you could be killed, capital punishment. This papyrus was written in vibrant, direct language by a strategizing prosecutor advising another lawyer about pieces of evidence and anticipating objections per the statement. The document contains a rapidly drafted transcript of the judicial hearing itself. They say the papyrus is extraordinary because it provides a direct insight into the trial prep back in the Roman Empire. There are parts of it that are still missing. As you can see, there's a big hole torn in the middle of it. And it makes conclusions about the trial's participants more difficult to come to. But the researchers say the prosecutors were likely functionaries of the Roman fiscal administration, and it suggests that the defendants were Jewish. The papyrus also makes mention of an informer who denounced the defendants to Roman authorities. It's interesting. It sheds light on this long debated issue of whether ancient Jewish people owned slaves or not. The document mentioned that the Salos family owned multiple slaves, but whether those enslaved people were Jewish is unclear. They don't know. The location of the trial, the outcome of the case, all still a mystery. It might have been interrupted by that Kokba revolt. But this papyrus ended up among documents stored in caves in the Judean desert, including the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were rediscovered in the mid 20th century. So, very interesting what we find from the past. Speaking of the past, check out this cache pit. It's a close up version of it. You can kind of see it there in the middle. And there's what it looks like. What is a cache pit, you ask? Well, a cache pit is kind of an underground cold storage area, like an old food storage pit. This one, pretty rare, unearthed in Alaska, about 1,000 years old. They think this cache pit was used to preserve moose and caribou meat in the harsh climate of southeastern Alaska. It's on this hill of birch and spruce overlooking the Nick Arm, which is a narrow stretch of the Gulf of Alaska that extends northwest of Anchorage. And this is where this intact cache pit used by the indigenous Dene people has been found. The discovery offering this perspective on the long human history in the region and on how to preserve and protect its legacy as well. Cache pits are kind of root cellars, according to an archaeologist. The discovery was made in this area along a well-known Dene trail that led north out of modern-day Anchorage area. The pit, about 3.5 feet deep, was dug into well-drained soil. It was lined with birch bark and grass, which helped preserve fish, meat, and berries in the harsh seasonal extremes of southeastern Alaska. They think it's about 1,000 years old. Kind of interesting. In the summer, the Dene people would have stayed in the area to catch and preserve salmon and terrestrial meat. Archaeologists expected this cache pit to be a few hundred years old, but radiocarbon testing revealed it was much older, again, 1,000 years. They said they got the results back and it said it was about 960 years old, plus or minus 30. So we were shocked. They said we were jumping up and down in our cube in tears. It was very exciting. They did another analysis that shows the surrounding area was likely used for a very long time by the indigenous people that lived there. So they tried to determine whether the food buried in that pit was from the land or the sea, and initial findings suggest the presence of moose or caribou, although they're still working on testing the surrounding soil to figure out if the animals were actually stored in that pit or if they were just passing by. So there have been other cache pits like this found as well. Some of them dating back as many as 14,000 years. But a lot of them, especially in areas that are a little bit more populated, like the Anchorage area, have been ruined. So to find this one intact, pretty good. The president of the native village of Eklutna says, "We know we can't stop development, but maybe we can use opportunities like this to fill in the picture of our past." So, pretty cool. Here's another story about old stuff. This one is about a cheek piece. I know, kind of yucky, but interesting as well. This story is about Ice Age hunter gatherers. And according to the skeletal remains that have been pulled from the earth, they might have been engaged in a body modification kind of practice. It looks like maybe they pierced their cheeks, even piercing their children's cheeks. The cheek piercings may have been done as early as 6 years old. There's a study in the Journal of Paleolithic Archaeology. And the reason they think this is because in nearly every single dental set recovered from this 29,000-year-old community, there are some really weird wear patterns on the teeth. The strange wear on the surfaces of the canines and the cheek teeth of individuals from the Pavlovian sites really baffled archaeologists. They said in addition to normal wear on the chewing surface of the teeth, they have these flat wear planes on the cheek surfaces. The archaeologists went on to explain that the enamel wear reminded him of similar results caused by some facial piercings, particularly these things called labrets. And he said he noticed interesting evidence pointing to teeth crowding and rotation that he thinks may have been caused by pressure from these piercings. It's the opposite of what happens when you wear braces or a retainer to straighten your teeth. So they analyze these dental records and they theorize that the Pavlovians from 29,000 years ago may have started receiving labret piercings when they were between 6 and 10 years old, with additional piercings added as they got older as maybe some kind of ritual rite of passage. They don't have the piercings or the jewelry themselves, they just have the skeletal evidence in this area. You would think that the jewelry, the piercings would have been found alongside the skeletons, but who knows? One of the most difficult parts of accepting the hypothesis, according to the archaeologist, that's been put forward is we don't have any labrets in the burials. But he said, given the time period, it's expected. The piercings may have used perishable materials like leather or wood, or maybe they were passed down among the community instead of buried with people. They're hoping they actually can find some of the pieces of jewelry to maybe further support this hypothesis. He said, whatever caused the strange dental wear, it's clear that the Pavlovian people shared in a behavior and produced it. And that's, he says, is pretty remarkable in its own right. So maybe they're all running around hunting and gathering with their cheeks pierced. I don't know. I thought this story was really cool. This is a picture of a nanoflower. It's going to be this technology put into Bandaids. These tiny structures could help fight deadly bacteria like E. coli. The nanoflower is a chemistry phenomenon where they grow these plant like shapes. So, researchers at Italy's University of Genoa designed this nanostructure that relies on carnation like nanoflowers that have enough of a surface area to host numerous wound healing drug molecules. They published a study about this medical innovation in the journal ACS Applied Biomaterials. This bandage prototype uses two polyphenol based materials, copper phosphate and tannic acid, and they possess well documented anti inflammatory and antibiotic properties. Once they're mixed and put in a saline solution, the copper phosphate tannic acid compounds begin to self assemble and grow into these flower like structures. Then researchers took the flowers and attach them to small strips of electro-spun nanofabric. They say that polyphenols, the natural compounds abundant in phenolic structures, have received widespread attention because of their antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and anti-cancer properties. Sounds like a miracle. And that's why they say they're perfect and valuable for biomedical applications. They say this is of great significance. So they tested this. They introduced these nanoflower bandage samples to harmful bacteria cultures, including E. coli and Staphylococcus aureus. And the nanoflower covered fabrics not only inactivated those bacteria, they did so through the addition of antibiotic resilient biofilms, all while protecting lab grown human cells. They think this is cost effective and extremely efficient. It would allow better means to speed up wound healing and to fight infections. So, there you go. Nanoflower Bandaids coming soon to a drugstore near you. I'll take one. Absolutely. I have another story for you, but first, let's go check the contributions to the After Party Live, which are incredibly necessary, needed, and appreciated. Trevor Starr in Hollywood with 1010. Kim, he said, I really like the original outro music much better than what you played yesterday. Well, yesterday I was kind of all over the map. I was experimenting. He said, I'd be happy to remix a longer version so you don't have to keep restarting it. Usually, if I'm if my brain is working, I click the loop it, and so it just loops and goes on and on and on. So I'll try to do better at that, Trevor. Thank you. I appreciate your offer to help and your contribution. You're awesome. Jim, 9.99 super sticker. Thank you, Jim. It's awesome. And then Luis with a $5 super chat says the MT show hosting with Michael Schur, cocktails and news, and of course the after party. You are the glue that holds the YouTube universe together. Oh, thank you, Luis. And thank you for the contribution and for the really nice words. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to have one more story before we move to Tim Sika's classic movie rec. And it is, it's a Valentine's story. I know. There's a zoo that will send a pooping elephant video to your ex for Valentine's Day. Creative, you know. Usually it's, they name a bug after you or something. The Memphis Zoo in Tennessee is celebrating Valentine's by giving people the chance to send a cute red panda video to their sweethearts or a video of an elephant pooping to your ex. The zoo says its dating or dumping promotion allows their followers to exchange a donation of $10 for a video to pass along as a Valentine's Day gift. That's kind of nice because then you get to donate to the zoo as well, right? Here's the options. You either can select an adorable video of a red panda munching on a grape or a stinky video of an elephant poop hitting the pile. If you have an ex that deserves a stinking surprise this Valentine's, let an elephant do the talking. Or maybe you found the one and you want to send them something adorable. The red pandas have you covered there too. They said that elephant poop videos are good for more than just your ex. Maybe you have an annoying neighbor, an overbearing mother-in-law, your ex, or that coworker who still gives you nightmares. This Valentine's, let an elephant do the talking and name a turd after a turd. Each video that you buy comes with a digital card. They said at the end of the campaign, we'll announce the most popular names of daters and dumpers, so make your move official. You can do these Valentine's video purchases until February 2nd. I don't think they've given me the actual video of the dating or dumping. Not that you want to see an elephant dropping one, but yeah. If you choose the dumping option, you get a digital thank you card, a stinky video. If you're feeling the love, then you can send the good one, the red panda one. I don't know. If you take the time to send a video to your ex of an elephant pooping, it says to me that you still care too much. Don't you think? Wouldn't you rather just, like, go away and never hear from that person again, ever? Doesn't that make more of a statement than if you keep sending them things, nasty things? I don't know. I mean, in a way, it's kinda funny. Rhonda says, "I just say, let go." That's right, let it go. Rev P says, "Poop vids are hot." I I I'm concerned about you, Rev. All of a sudden, I'm concerned. No. Oh, really? Did you really? He got addicted to poop vids. It was a crappy existence. Are you kidding or are you serious? Luckily, I flushed that life away and now I'm solid with good moves. I don't even know. I don't even know how to comment on that one. Heather says, "Yeah, I wouldn't want to give them the satisfaction of knowing that I even thought of him." Right? Exactly. Like you're still wallowing and angry and bitter, and really holding on to that anger and bitterness only weighs on you, not them. They don't care. I don't know. No turds. No turds, says Northern. Yeah. Let it go or it'll haunt you in another life. Okay. Gained fiber wisdom. Well, that was an unexpected and interesting discussion. Ms. Organic, thank you so much for the $10 contribution to the After Party Live. I so appreciate it. Thank you very, 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 very much. You guys are awesome in helping me keep this show going. I can't even tell you how much it means. Okay, before we get to the movie recommendation, let me do this one last story. We talked before about how many people are taking Ozempic or these weight loss drugs right now. And one of the side effects to your body, some people are saying it gives you something called Ozempic face. And what is Ozempic face exactly? It is when you lose the fat on your face, your skin sags. And so then you start looking older. They say the drugs are highly effective at achieving rapid weight loss, but they often result in issues like volume loss and sagging skin. And so more patients are turning to plastic surgery to address the aesthetic concerns of so-called Ozempic face. And now, the American Academy of Facial, Plastic, and Reconstructive Surgery says they are now realizing that there's an impact on cosmetic surgeries by Americans taking these weight loss drugs. There was a facial cosmetic increase, a rise, a 50% rise in the number of facial fat grafting procedures undertaken throughout 2024. And doctors think that's probably due to the effect of weight loss aided by these GLP-1s. The members of the Plastic Surgery Association say that other non-surgical procedures like injectable facial fillers are probably going to rise in popularity as Ozempic helps and drugs like it help people shed pounds. 1 in every 10 plastic surgery member say they're prescribing the weight loss meds to patients. Older cosmetic surgery standbys continue to top the list of the most popular procedures of 2024. So, nose jobs, rhinoplasties, and facelifts and eye lifts are still the top 3 surgical procedures. Rhinoplasty continues to be patients' most frequently requested surgery. And unfortunately, the average age for a facelift is getting younger. In recent years, people ages 35 to 55 made up 26% of facelift clients. That number rose nearly a third, 32% by 2024. So people in their 30s are getting this type of surgery. Yeah, there you go. Ozempic face. All right, are you ready for it? We might not have Tim Sika here, but we're still kind of at the movies with Tim Sika, even though he's at the Critics' Choice Award. He knows that some of you really count on this classic movie recommendation because you do watch it during the weekend. And his recommendation this time around is Funny Girl. It is a movie made in 1968. He said it boasts possibly the greatest debut screen performance in movie history. Tim says Funny Girl is streaming on Prime. Look at Barbara Streisand. Amazing. Funny Girl. I have not seen this movie. I have heard the songs. I know it's a Broadway play, but I haven't seen the movie, so maybe I'll check it out. Funny Girl from 1968 is Tim Sika's classic movie recommendation of the week. So he didn't want to leave you completely empty-handed. Tim will be back next week on the After Party Live to let us know how the Critics' Choice Awards went down and to give us all of the recommendations of the latest happenings at the theaters and streaming and everywhere else. All right. That is the show for today. Trevor, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jim, thank you. Luis, you're awesome. Thank you. I love your nice comments. And thank you, Ms. Organic, as well. You guys really give me hope that we're going to keep on going on this After Party Live. Also, thank you to everyone who contributes via PayPal. I'm so grateful. Find the PayPal information in the show description here daily. I always put it at the bottom. Also in the About tab, Harold has contributed to the show today. Wes also contributing multiple times this week. So very, very nice of you guys to do that. All right. Go forth, make it a good weekend. Whether you watch the Super Bowl or whether you're boycotting it because of Voldemort, he who shall not be named on this show. I hope you have a really good weekend. Make it a good one. If you have been feeling under the weather, I'm sending out wishes into the universe that you get better soon and that you're feeling all right. Oh, movie quote trivia. I did promise that, didn't I? All right. I do have a couple. It's not Trivia Thursday, but I'll throw up the picture anyway. And because you reminded me, I will make it happen. Here it is. Movie quote Friday. Thank you, Nullifidian. I have a couple for you, all right? You ready? Who said this? She makes me feel kind of funny, like when we used to climb the rope in gym class. She makes me feel kind of funny, like when we used to climb the rope in gym class. Anybody? It's not Gone with the Wind. Judy, yes, I did, but thank you because Nullifidian reminded me. Thank you. Not 16 Candles. Heather has it. That's Dana Carvey from Wayne's World. It makes me feel kind of funny, like when we used to climb the rope in gym class. That's right. Well done. Heather has it. And yep, yep. Well done. Okay, next one. I never gave a ticket to no none before. I gave a ticket to a guy from the IRS one time, got audited the next year. Tell you what, sister, I'm going to I'm going to let this one slide. I'll read it again. I never gave a ticket to no none before. I gave a ticket to a guy from the IRS one time, got audited the next year. Tell you what, sister, I'm going to let this one slide. Sister Act, very good guess. Not correct, but a very good guess. Not Sister Act. I'll give it to you. That was Clancy Brown from Dead Man Walking. Yeah. Next one. You really this is two people talking. You really love animals, don't you? If it gets cold enough. You really love animals, don't you? If it gets cold enough. You know what it is? It's not good guess. Gone with the Wind now. These might be too hard. One of the folks speaking is Courtney Cox. I'll give you that hint. Yeah. Nullifidian knows it's Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Nullifidian has it. Cece has it as well. Jim Carrey. Yes. All right, here's one. Two people talking again. Carl, I want you to kill all of the gophers on the golf course. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all of the golfers, they'll lock me up and throw away the key. Anybody? Carl, I want you to kill all the gophers on the golf course. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they'll lock me up and throw away the key. Yes, as a matter of fact. Well done, everybody. It is Caddyshack, says John Slade. John has it, Phineas has it, Cece, Blue Spark, Tammy, Ms. Organic, Walnut, Luis, Trevor, Vanessa, Ren, Rev, Heather, Teacher, Rhonda. Good job, you guys. Next one. I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. Heather says Spaceballs. Heather is right. John Slade says Spaceballs. You are correct. Well done. It is Spaceballs. That was by John Candy. All right, the next one. I live in a neighborhood so bad you can get shot while you getting shot. I live in a neighborhood so bad you can get shot while you're getting shot. Anybody? Nobody? Yeah, it's Chris Rock. That's right. CC Ryder has it. It's Chris Rock from Head of State. Well done. Next one. History teachers. Who was Joan of Arc? Ted. Noah's wife? Who is Joan of Arc? Ted answers, Noah's wife? I don't remember this quote, but I love the movie. Vast Times at Ridgemont High? It is not. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures is correct. Bernie Casey and Keanu Reeves, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. So we have Trevor and we have John who has it. And we have Heather who has it. And Ren and Trevor and Finn and Rev. Nice job, you guys. All right, just a couple more. These men have a supreme vow of celibacy, like their fathers and their fathers before them. These men have a supreme vow of celibacy, like their fathers and their fathers before them. Not what I would have thought. Yes, teacher, it was indeed. Yes, Nullifidian. That's what I thought too. Thank you, Rhonda. Anybody? I'll give you it. That was Charlie Sheen from Hot Shots Part 2. Okay, the next one and the last one. Inside a phone booth. Raymond. Oh, fart. Oh, fart. Charlie. What? Raymond, did you just fart? Did you just effing fart? Raymond. Uh-oh, fart. Do we know? Anybody? Farting in a phone booth quote? Dumb and Dumber. You would think. Saddle, says Phineas. Yeah, Cece has it. It's Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. That's a quote from Rain Man. And with that, a little movie quote trivia, a movie quote trivia on a Friday of all things. So thank you for reminding me. I'm glad we didn't forget. Well, at least we got a few questions in. All right, everybody. Have a very, very good rest of your Friday, and I will see you back here on Monday on YouTube. Make it a great weekend. But for now, bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
I'm going to have him cut another one because that wasn't his best showing. We'll do it again.